Hey guys, you want to see what bad timing is? That guy. Had he come a minute later, we would have been fine. And we literally probably only have two more loads tops from the other side of the tracks. The rest is on this side. We moved the bagger to this side. I guess we shouldn't have shut down for supper. And he's doing all of like 5.5 miles an hour. Like, wonderful. Having said that, really not that long. But like, I swear, there's never a train going through here until we're working here. Yeah, like, that train's only half a mile, so yeah. Other than that, things are going really good. We're getting decent average, not spectacular average. We just finished filling the bag, so I actually was going to run over to the other side and try and kind of wrap the other one up on my own. Got Brody sitting there waiting to go catch the other loads. If I haven't really shown, not sure how many people are familiar with these grain bags. They're handy, but they're also a real pain in the ass. So as you can see, that I think I already showed that I write every time I test on them, just so we have an idea what we should be getting when we extract. And whenever we get around to extracting one of these, I'll try and set up the GoPro and show you how we hook on. We do ours a little bit differently. They send ropes and they recommend you tie it off. We've found that using 2x4s actually works really good. So this is a 10-foot diameter bag. It's really nice when we have 10-foot 2x4s. We always make sure we have 10-foot 2x4s on the far end, and what we do is we tuck the corners in. Like, we'll fold this in quarters, so this will get folded in half, that'll get folded to the middle. But we do it on the underside. I don't know if you can see how I did that, but that corner will get folded to the midline, that corner to the midline, but on the underside. And then we fold about a foot under, and then we sandwich it with 2x4s. So we're going through like 4 to 8 layers. We're getting a good bite, and then we roll it under so that the bag comes out, and it kind of, I always thought it looked like that, I think they call it the elephant's foot or something, the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown core, whatever, when it melts. I always thought that's what this looked like. It kind of just comes out and flips over the end, and once it's over the boards, it's nice and secure, and it works really well for extracting at the end because you're going at it almost, rather than it tapering down to nothing, it tapers to about 8 feet. Now, to close up this guy, I got to use 8-footers because that's all we had left down here. It's the last bag. We got a bunch of 10-footers at Dad's, but neither of us thought to grab them today. So, and usually I do this with 2 people, but what I'm probably going to do is fold it as much as I can. And something I should show you is you don't want to go right to the end. That is borderline too far. So in the winter, when we go to extract this, we cut one pretty much right down where this serial number is, pretty much dead center, and we'll go pretty damn close to where the yellow line is, and then we'll do another one about here where this crease is, kind of down here. It's about 2.5 feet to the side, 30 inches. That's where the 2 cuts are, and there's also a cut on the bottom side. So that's where the extractor cuts them. It's 2 right down the middle, and then 1 on the top side here. And that one on the top side is where the auger comes out. The other 2 are for where the spooler goes. These things are not usable afterwards. You have to send them off for recycling. So once we cut everything, we'll peel the top off, or off to the side, and then we'll put the extractor in as far as we can. And usually there's a cross auger at the bottom. It's usually about here, and the rest will pull up and over. There's a roller about here. Like I said, we'll have a video sometime for it, but right now I'm just folding it up to keep the water and the critters out. So normally I like to use 10 footers. We didn't have any, but a few screw holes isn't really going to matter. It's when the animals really start walking on it, or they like to frickin' paw at the sides. So down here, actually, we had a bag roughly right here last year of canola, and it was untouched. And over there where we had the canola this year, we had 3 bags and they had some attention. So we're hoping to get these off fairly soon. Got a nice sunset and kind of something building to the southeast. Not sure. I'm just heading out with the disc. Well, waiting on, actually, Brody's still over there somewhere. I don't know. The 2 combines are over there. I'm just heading out to this bag to run a berm, or not a berm, but a fire guard around it. Despite the fact that there's a storm coming, despite the fact that we've had rain, conditions are still very dry, and prices are good, so we're just gonna protect it. And any chance I get to run this disc, I will, because it's awesome. But I need to get a little more jam going. This thing doesn't really work. It's a high-speed disc. It doesn't work until you get her over about 7.5 miles an hour. So we'll get the turbo spool in and we'll sink her in here in a minute. Want to hear this thing work? Here we go. Oh, there's some grunt. But it does a lovely job. Oops. I am not good at filming and looking backwards and over my shoulder all at once. Maybe someday I'll get good at it for you guys. So I'm just going to do a couple laps. I don't want to get too close to it because I want that ground to be firm in the winter when we get, or not even the winter, but maybe even in the after harvest. The semi will be going here. I like keeping a little bit of room and some firm ground in case it does rain or get soft. At least you got something that has some competency to it. But yeah, we dug her down about almost a full mile an hour, and you can really hear the turbo work. But it's about the limit for this machine. I got her. Ooh, there was a good spark. I don't know if you saw that. It's the other thing. There's lots of rocks here, so a lot of potential for fire. Whether that's from a header, whether that's from somebody flicking a cigarette. So I am pulling this is a 35-foot high-speed disc with 375 horsepower tractor. Now it's important to note that this is about, I think they rate this between 8 and 10 horsepower required per foot at, I think, 1.5 inches or 2 inch. So I got her set to about 2 inches right now. So we're right at the limit of what it can do. I was using it the other year and the ground was a little bit wetter, and coming up out of some of the hills, you'd start getting the traction hops. So we actually have the deepest tread available in these tires. It does make a difference. but at the same time, when it's wet, this thing can be an anchor. When the ground is moist, like real nice, you can't go terribly deep because it really works it. But oh, I just love the job this thing does in vertical tillage and incorporating the ground is phenomenal. And it'll tear up ruts. For the most part, it'll smooth out a lot of, you know, chaff balls and that kind of stuff. The only thing it struggles with is sizable rocks. A lot of times they'll get jammed between two of the discs, and then it'll just, and you'll know right away. Because, yeah, it feels like it got twice as heavy. So, I'd say that's a pretty good fire guard back there. A little bouncy. Things always look way cooler at night. Maybe not. Combines are way over there. You probably make out that little hint of light. They're over a hill. There's actually a few hills here. It's a real shame that this little, I'm recording on my, what is it, Samsung Galaxy 20 S20 FE, I think. Something like that. It's a good camera. I don't know of any camera that could really capture, well, unless you're getting like a $20,000 camera, that could really capture just the absolute beauty of a Saskatchewan clear harvest evening. There's more stars than you'd ever dare to count. You can see the constellations. There's some bright you can actually see that one. I have a suspicion that one is actually a planet. Maybe I'll Google it. But yeah, you can't see anything else. But, oh, it's just, I definitely missed it when I lived in Calgary. Calgary, you get okay. You'd have to get an hour outside of the city to get real nice nights. But yeah, we get spoiled out here. It's like this time of year and the dead of winter. The real cold days when there's no cover. Oh, it's just spectacular. The nice part about tonight is there's enough breeze that there's no friggin' mosquitoes. So after a quick Google search, not there, that's Venus. Super cool. I used to be a bit of, not what you would call an astronomy nut, but I was into it when I was young. I was always trying to learn constellations names, and when you could see like certain meteor showers or comets or that stuff. My sister's got a pretty cool book on it. Maybe I'll have to steal it from her some night.